Hello, I'm field meteorologist Anthony Mang, and I'm here to give you a rundown of the severe weather threat from this weekend to early next week. So right now we have some showers going on in the Kansas area where we have some severe thunderstorms going on, producing up to 2-inch diameter hail up to golf balls. Not much of a wind threat going on right now, but there is some severe winds going on, about 50, 55, barely severe. Right now the dew point temperatures are too separate right now from the air temperature and dew point, so these are not producing any tornadoes right now, and I really don't expect them to at all today. Probably in about a couple hours these storms will begin to diminish over time. These will probably bring some rain over the Kansas City area down to northern Oklahoma. I wouldn't expect a lot of rain, but I'd expect the ground to be wet, the roads to be wet in the morning. Now, the problem is when we get into these next couple of days, the severe threat will gradually increase over time. And right now, the biggest days are looking to be Monday and Tuesday in the Central Plains. I'm expecting some significant severe weather, but right now it's still a little too far out for us to be sure. But I'm here to get into it with y'all to show y'all what could be on the way. If we look into Friday, we have a marginal threat right here from southern Kansas to northern Oklahoma. I'm not expecting these storms to be significant at all, as it's only a marginal threat, which is a 1 out of 5 on the severe scale. We're expecting some damaging hail and maybe some wind threat along this line somewhere. It's not going to be like today where they're having major hailers going on in northern Kansas. But once again, like today, these storms will develop and then gradually decrease as they move south. These storms will not last very long at all, if I'm going to be honest. If I was in this area, I'd probably just look for rain. I mean, maybe some hail, some wind, but the environment's not very favorable for any severe weather or major severe weather in this area. I would expect minor severe weather in this area. Now Saturday, when we get into Saturday, this is when the big time severe weather will begin. Now Saturday, we have a slight risk right now in the Texas area, the Texas Panhandle area. The northern part of this risk, I'm expecting a squall line to move east and diminish over time. These storms will probably develop around 5, 6 o'clock. They will begin as supercells. These will be individual little supercells developing in this area, but they will quickly merge into a cluster of storms and push east. I would expect maybe some 70-mile-per-hour wind gust out of this and maybe some quarter-size hail. This will be more of a wind threat on this northern part of this risk. Now, as we go into the southern part down here in the El Paso, Texas, Mexican border, right now models are showing some supercells developing in this area and pushing northeast. We need to watch these closely because if these stay discrete, they will probably produce some damaging hail, damaging wind gusts, and potentially a tornado or two. The environment down here is a little more conducive for tornadoes, just as Cape values, low level moisture, and all that's down there. These will move northeast, but as these storms move, probably after sunset, they will begin to diminish over time and probably bring some rain into central Texas area. But once these get up to probably like the Arlington, Austin area, I wouldn't expect much other than maybe some wind and rain. These will gradually die pretty quick. But as these storms move, we'll get some beneficial rain in this area that we haven't had in a long time. They need it down here. But as these storms will move east and they will diminish after sunset or begin to diminish after sunset. So mainly the risk area will be in that slide area. And once they move out of that, I really don't expect much out of them. But I expect a little severe threat. But mainly tornado threat will be overall pretty low this day. Except if these cells down here get to mature and root down into low levels, a tornado could be possible, but I wouldn't expect a significant tornado, but maybe a brief spin up or two. Now let's talk about Sunday. Now this could be our first potential significant weather day, as we have right now a day 4 slight risk from the Texas Panhandle all the way into eastern central Oklahoma. This type of environment is very conducive for severe weather, but there'll be a cap in place that prevents these storms from erupting across this entire region. This will be a conditional type day is what they'll call it, Or individual cells will probably develop, maybe 2 or 3, if we're lucky, over 5. Well, if for storm chasers, they'll be lucky. But right now, it's a very conditional risk. Maybe a cell or 2. But any storm that develops has the potential to be very significant. And when I say that, I mean hail up to tennis ball size hail, 80-mile-per-hour wind gust, and any storm that can mature enough, get rooted, be tall enough, will produce a tornado. I can guarantee you that. The low-level conditions are perfect for tornadoes on Sunday. It's just there will be a cap in place that prevents these storms from going crazy and being everywhere, if I should say. But Sunday is a day to watch. It's still 3 days out. We need to watch this. Things could change, but Sunday seems to be a conditional day, and any storm that does develop will have everything it needs to be severe and a very significant storm. So there's 2 days I am watching for significant severe weather. First, we're going to start with Monday. We have a day 5 slight risk from northern Texas that goes all the way up to the Minnesota, Wisconsin area. Now, conditions are a lot more favorable down here in this northern Texas to about central Kansas corridor. The models right now are showing conditions very conducive for significant severe weather in this area. We're talking about dew points in the mid-60s and spin in the atmosphere right now. Models are showing crazy spin in that atmosphere in that area. And if right now models are showing individual supercells. Now it's going to be like conditional risk just like Sunday, but this one is showing more storms firing along that dry line and staying discrete and isolated. I believe any storm that develops will have everything it needs. It's in a very conducive environment to produce tornadoes. I can see this being I'm not calling it a tornado outbreak per se, but I could very well see this becoming a tornado outbreak type day. There will be a dry line in place right here, and then the dew points will be clashing on that dry line are going to be so perfect. It's going to be very thin dry line. So these winds will be clashing and thunderstorms will they're going to shoot like crazy. So any storm that develops between northern Texas and I would say central Kansas, this area, anywhere along this dry line, they'll immediately become severe. I would give it 30 minutes. The conditions will be so favorable in this area. And right now, if I had to give you details, I would say up to baseball size hail, 80-mile-per-hour wind gust, and a strong tornado or 2. I would say tornadoes are likely this day in this northern Texas, central Kansas corridor. Now, when you get further north up to like northern Kansas, Iowa, Wisconsin, I can see this being a linear type event because this low pressure system's up here, and then you're going to have, I could just see this being a linear kind of event. I could see embedded tornadoes, more of a wind gust threat, I would say. Maybe up to like 80 miles per hour. We'll see what happens. Like I said, these events are still 3-4 days away, so we still have a lot of details to work out. Now, the last day I really want to look into is Tuesday. Tuesday is looking just like Monday, just a bit more east. Once again, this is looking like a day that could be very significant. Potential tornado outbreak. I'm not saying it is, but it could be. From the northern Texas, about central Kansas, they have the outlook, day 6 outlook, they have a little further south into the Texas area. So we'll say from central Texas all the way up to Iowa, I could see this being a tornado outbreak. Now, on Tuesday, the tornado parameters are a little more favorable up here in this Iowa, Missouri, eastern Kansas corridor. But once again, this Texas and Oklahoma corridor, isolated supercells off that dry line. It's still looking very favorable down here, but the environment's just a little more favorable up here in this Iowa, Missouri, Kansas corridor. But once again, I believe Monday and Tuesday are the type of days that any storm that fires will instantly become severe and will pose a high tornado risk. Now, I can't stress this enough. We need to have our severe weather plan in place and be ready when you get that warning. This is going to be a very active few weeks in the southern plains. Models are continuously showing trough after trough after trough, which just means storm system moving through the area. And I can't remember the last time we've had stretches of days on end of severe weather. These are the type of events that are rare and could be a historic type of event, but I don't want to call it that yet. But you always need to stay weather aware and pay attention to your local forecast and keep an eye on the weather. I am Anthony Manning for A-Man. Thank you for watching.